Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. I'm Steven Silver, character designer and teacher, dedicated to helping you learn about the art industry and living up to your potential. Whippy! All right, welcome to another Monday Morning Art Talk. I'm feeling very my eyes, I'm feeling this, it's very hot right now and there's a lot of wind and everything, so I get these like crazy allergies, so I hope that it's not affecting the way that I'm coming across or anything. I'm just feeling like, I want to get my art talk done, but I'm feeling like, I got the sniffles and everything like that. So I don't have COVID-19, I can tell you that. I am healthy. But what I did want to talk about today is just something just a little bit lighter than just a lot of the stuff that's usually talked about, especially as of recently, in regards to just being at home and going through what we're going through with all this. And I wanted to talk to you guys today about just the fun thing about drawing. And it's not the fun thing about drawing that's for you, like you should have fun drawing. You're supposed to have fun drawing. It's fun for everyone. Whoopee! It's more about, I just want to talk about the experience that I have about the fun of drawing, because maybe you might find that when you dig deep into it, you might realize that, as things go on, as tough as things may get, or if the jobs are coming that you want, or jobs you're working at that you don't necessarily want, the real heart of getting back to the drawing is fun, and why drawing is fun for me, and why character design is fun for me. As I've been drawing forever, but I realized that the more I draw, the easier it definitely gets. There's always still the challenges. So whenever I'm working with a new client, a new project, especially in the character design aspect, and that's what I'm referring to here, there's absolutely a challenge. And the challenge is I just want to make the client happy. That's my number one goal. That's honestly, every time I get an assignment to do something, all that crosses through my mind is about making someone else happy, which sometimes can be, it can be hard only in the sense that if the client isn't happy, it becomes like you take that little bit of a dig, like, oh man, you feel like you've let yourself down, maybe let them down. And it's not that you weren't any good. It's not like when someone gets in contact with you initially, they're hiring you because they like what you do. They're fans of yours, or they just have seen your portfolio, they've seen your work, and they're entrusting you, but that maybe you're the person for the job. So then you get the job, you do the job, and then the vision isn't coming across, and then all of a sudden they're like, well, unfortunately it's not going to work out, or the job doesn't happen for many different reasons. And I just want to make, it's very important for oneself to realize it wasn't about you that you weren't talented. It's just that the client's not necessarily seeing the vision that they want to see. They're not seeing that how in their mind's eye, so now they've got to move on to someone else. And it happens with actors all the time. It's like, this actor is clearly a good actor, and they go in for the casting read, and they read in front of the directors, and the directors are just like, yeah, you're good, but you're just not you're not right for this role. You're not the right size, you're not the right look, you're not the right thing, whatever it may be, and that's what happens with art. But I just want to talk about just in the enjoyment of the process. And what I realize that it gets easier for me the more I do it, because just to draw something, especially when I feel comfortable. Like right now, I'm in the process of developing a show with some friends of mine. And as I'm working and designing these characters, I'm just having a lot of fun doing it. I'm working on it. And the challenge of all of a sudden, and this goes for anything, you're given this task to design this character. Here's this character's description. You've maybe read the script. You get a feeling of the character, and you just start planning it. And I think it's fun for me just because I love drawing something from nothing. It's like when you're drawing caricature of people, it's really great just to look at people, and it's always a challenge too, like, can I do it? Can I make my drawing look like that person? And why I'm talking about this too, because it's important to have fun at doing this. Again, whether you're doing what it is you ideally want to be doing or not, I think it's just the process. And if you're not having fun with the process, if you're not having fun with the drills, if you're not having fun with the exercises, and some of this stuff can be boring, right? Oh, like I'll tell people all the time, man, you got to trace, you got to do this, you got to do this. And people, I got to do that. Yeah, you do. If you want to start to improve upon your skill, you got to start going through the process of working on stuff that's not the most exciting thing. You don't get to render stuff. You don't get to color stuff. You don't get to do all this fancy stuff with it, but you're in that learning process, so that when you go to work on the stuff you want to do, it starts to become fun. But I love tackling a new design. Like, I don't know, say I got to draw a chipmunk, and all of a sudden, okay, I got to draw a chipmunk, but I want to know about this chipmunk. What type of chipmunk is this chipmunk? What age are they? What are they, male or female? What country are they from? I don't know. Well, what's the heart of them? What's the feeling? What's the soul of them? I want to know who they are. Because the more you understand who your characters are, the easier it's going to be for you to come up with those ideas, and you just go from one drawing to the next. And it's a progression. And what I find is, like, not only is drawing fun because it takes up time. You get people who are going through the coronavirus who are bored out of their minds. I'm just like, as an artist, if you love art and you're an artist, you're never bored. You go to the airport and you got to wait 2 hours for your plane flight. All right, that's fine. I can draw. You got to go to jury duty. All right, no problem. I got to draw. And this is why having fun with it, or getting to that phase, again, it can be hard sometimes, but the more you do it, but then also that this is what you're supposed to do in your life. And I just have so much fun just trying to come up with that new shape, that new look, and that mistake. And I do that one drawing, and I hit a line, and I go, oh, that could actually work. And then it leads to something else. And what I love about drawing is that constant push to create take it to that next stage, like what might be fun. Afterwards, what can be not so fun is when you've developed a character, you've drawn them, and you're really happy with them, and you feel excited about it, and then the director starts changing it on you, or starts making just little notes about, well, shift the eyeball here and do this and do that, and then you start noodling it, what they call, and just beating it to death, I like to say, where you're just beating that design to death. Like, how many more times can I do this design? I feel like I've taken all the fun out of it now, especially too if you're working on a show where you do start to see the design is getting yanked from it, and there's no longer just the aesthetics that you want in it. The director isn't a designer per se, or doesn't feel that way, or has seen something else that he wants it to look like that and represent what is already seen. So people get afraid of new. And that's always, I'm never a big fan of that. Sometimes I wish people were more open to where just let it be pushed, let it go to that next phase, and not just take the life and the character out of the drawing. But until you get to that phase, just the actual development of it is fun. So my enjoyment comes from that exploration, just going from this one drawing to the next drawing. And again, it's a feeling. And I hope that you have that feeling within your drawings is when you're working on stuff. And I think maybe if you're not, it's often a case, I would say, of just being, sometimes it's just can be a lack of experience, that you just haven't done it enough, you haven't seen enough people, you haven't observed enough, so now it's frustrating for you, because when you go to draw, what you see in your mind isn't coming out on paper, it's not going through your hand, and that's a frustrating thing. And that happens often, where that bigger struggle for me was where I didn't know enough. I struggled the most with that because I didn't know enough about the figure. I hadn't done enough life drawing. I hadn't done enough of my own figure invention. I was hiding things a lot of the time. I wasn't drawing hands. I was hiding that because I was afraid to draw hands because they were so difficult. I wasn't paying attention to what really makes a body, gives body life and movement, and learn about that and practice it all the time. And just not being willing to just search. Like, I love just even just searching stuff. You can search anything. Like, I was looking for a specific sort of character, and just you do Google searches of just like, you know, what, like it's a mob boss, right? And their wife. What are mob boss wives? You know, what are those? And just see in Google search what are some character types that you can maybe get out of that. And all of a sudden you see a picture which leads you to something else and go, oh, that's a great idea for a hairstyle. Oh, wow, that's a great idea for a costume. And that's why you got to do the research. And I love doing the research. And also, I just want to mention, this is all part of your development. Whenever you're working for people, research is such a huge part of it. Don't neglect that. And that's something you're charging for too. If you're charging on an hourly rate, and this is something you're doing, well, the fact that you got to sit there and you're working on this project and you're charging this hour, you know, and I might spend who knows how many hours, or, you know, the minutes pile up of me searching for the reference and putting it together. This is all stuff that's going to make the end result that much better, to add to the value of the design, so it doesn't feel generic. And that's because you're the professional and you came through with that, and you knew to research, and you know what you were looking for, and your experience took you to this website and it took you to that site. That's all valuable stuff, but that's where the enjoyment of the drawing comes in. So I would encourage you just to try to, in all honesty, I love character design. I love caricature. Try to, it may be painting for you, it may be 3D modeling, it may be animation, it may be backgrounds, maybe prop design, comics. It could be so many different things, illustrations, so many things that you love. But the most important thing is to find that thing that you truly love, that you're truly excited about, because then also it never feels like work. And that's really what you want to get down to. Even though I'm doing this and there may be a lot of work that I have to do, the reality is, hey, look at this. This is fun. I get to do the design. Now, for me, where the stuff doesn't get so much fun anymore, in all honesty, is the production stuff. When I got to do the turnarounds, when I got to do, you know, if I got to do expressions and attitude poses, those are still fun because you still get to move the character around. But all of a sudden, now you got to clean it up. Okay, now I got to slow it down a bit. Maybe you got to color it. Maybe the coloring isn't as much fun for you if you got to do that. But it's those process, like for me, it's more about the turnarounds where it's like becomes the technical stuff, which is like, nah, it's required. You got to do it. But it's not as much fun as the initial coming up with that concept and hoping that the client likes what it is that you're doing. That's where the fun's at. So really the most important thing is just make sure that you're enjoying whatever it is you do. Try to find that thing, what it is that you do. Try to enjoy that process, because you want to have the fun in drawing in order to make a fun life out of this. It's the same thing in relationships. You want to make sure that you're in a good relationship in order to have a fun life. You want to make sure that you have that you're in a fun, work environment, fun car you drive. I don't know, whatever it is that you enjoy. Isn't that what this is all about? Isn't that what life's all about? Is just trying to find the joys, the little joys in life, like what makes you happy, what gives you contentment. What are those things in your life that do it for you, that you can start to implement every day, whatever that may be. All right, so that's kind of it. I also just wanted to share with you guys that I just started a new course on schoolism. It's a subscription base. You can draw with me every day. It's a drawing workout. So it's every day character design workout. It's only about 8 minutes to 20 minutes, 12 minutes. Just draw along with me every day just to get that warm up. I give a bunch of reasons why I'm making the decisions I'm making. You guys get to draw along with me, and it's being received very well right now. A lot of people have been sharing their drawings with me, which I really love, because you know why? It tells me they're having fun. When someone's sharing what they're doing, I'm having fun doing this, and they're telling me they're having so much fun doing this, and it's such a good break from their usual routine. And these are the things, whenever you can get involved in something that gives you, breaks you out of your routine, gives you something to do, however you want to practice, you just got to do that. But most importantly, have fun. All right, so thanks again, guys, for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. Be happy. This stuff's going to be all over with soon, this COVID stuff. So make sure you're using your time wisely. Don't look back at the end of this and go, man, I was stressing for the last 2 months or whatnot, and now I got the jobs that I wanted, or I'm doing this, and I wish I would have used that time to better myself and invest in myself, whether it's through reading, writing, drawing, whatever it may be. This is your time. Make the best of it. All right. Make it a great week. Thanks again to all my Patreon followers. I appreciate you guys, and make it a great week, guys. Have fun. To learn more about my Skype mentorships and workshops, please visit silvertunes.com, and if you like, sign up for my mailing list where you'll be notified of any upcoming workshops or events. Thanks so much for listening, and I'll talk to you next week.